Welcome to Bookish Meet the Author. I am here, and by the way, this was created by Clarissa Burt. I am here with author Andrew Culkin. How are you, Andrew?
Great to be here.
Good. I am so happy because you're going to talk to us about your book, Amanda, A Cautionary Tale.
Right.
And we're going to talk about alcoholism and helping.
Helping.
Yes.
That's really the goal, is to ultimately learn from this horrible experience so that I can help others. You know, I didn't want to just leave it. My wife passed away about 2 years ago by acute alcoholism and related things, and I didn't want it to end there. You know, we were married for 25 years, and I just didn't want it to end. You know?
Yeah, that's for 25 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were together like 27 years, so yeah, it's a chunk of my life.
So let's start talking about this. So, um, how do we start to identify alcoholism in our loved ones?
Well, the biggest thing is denial. When you realize, well, technically, women are considered alcoholic textbook if they're drinking 5 to 7 drinks a week, which sounds very low for a lot of people,
Mhm.
you know. But ultimately, what you're doing is you're creating a habit. And what I realized with her, uh, when I first met her, and part of it was my own ignorance because I'd never been around alcoholism or alcoholics, certainly not to this level. But I thought it was a cultural thing because her family was originally from Canada and there's a little bit of French Canadian background, and they all drank wine. So I thought it was just part of, her family, and that was a normal thing. But eventually, a 750 liter bottle of wine became a 1.75 liter bottle of wine every day. And if you think about it, that's 28 to 30 bottles of wine a month. And
Mm.
it wreaks havoc on your body and your mind and your life over a period of years. And ultimately, the denial of I have a problem is the biggest issue. Until a person is ready to admit that they have an issue,
Hmm.
there's no hope.
Hmm. Is this something that you saw early in the marriage or not till later?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, she always drank a little bit every day, and it was a very gradual thing over certainly the first 10 years, and it didn't really interrupt with her life much. It was just part of her lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we were both insurance brokers. She was a very successful insurance broker, very pretty girl. I got the picture over there. She had, bright blue eyes. She'd enter a room and she was very outgoing and full of self-esteem. But about 15, 18 years into the marriage, it really started affecting her physically and mentally.
Hmm.
She started getting DUIs,
Yeah.
I mean, very obvious things, and it was affecting our relationship in a plethora of ways.
Hmm. Yeah, let's talk about how we can respond to our alcoholic friends and family when they're, because a lot of them tend to be in denial about their
Tend to be in
alcoholism.
denial. Well, unfortunately, most alcoholics, they're the last ones to realize that they're an alcoholic. It's everyone around them understands that they have an immense issue. And the alcoholic is generally, not always, but generally they're the last ones to really admit it, or if they ever do admit it, you know. And it's really up to the family at some point. You have to draw a line in the sand depending on what relationship it is. I mean, we were a husband and wife relationship, but sometimes it could be a parent-child relationship, which is even more difficult. And you have to cut the cord at some point in that relationship. And I've spoken at some rehabs locally. I live in Southern California. There's some big rehabs around here that some of them are actually famous, like Betty Ford and things. But my whole thing is, especially with a parent child, is we have to let your child fail. You have to let the cord. You can't be a codependent, and you can't allow your child to continue in this horrible behavior if you're flipping the bill. you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think the best education is a zero bank account and nowhere to turn. Sometimes you get real
Hmm.
resourceful, and you have to change your behavior if you're forced to.
And I think that's really difficult for parents, specifically because you're just scared that your child is going to die if you turn your
Boy,
back on them.
well, the last thing you want is your, son or daughter to be homeless on the street. But
Right. Yeah.
sometimes you have to make that decision. At least you have to take away, if you're enabling them in your house and you're enabling them with money. I mean,
Hmm.
because you're killing them that way too. You're killing them
Hmm.
just as badly that way.
Mm.
Essentially, you have to have an intervention, and you have to put them in some kind of course of group therapy, and somehow they have to get to the bottom of the core reason why the person is drinking to begin with, which is really what you need to research. And the person has to identify in themselves. They have to have the self-actualization to come to that conclusion that they have an issue.
Why are alcoholism and mental health issues more relevant now than ever?
Well, they're relevant now because of specifically COVID-19. We haven't seen a spike in alcoholism since the Great Depression, and economically, because people were trapped in their homes for 2 years. There's added stresses that people weren't expecting. People losing their jobs and their businesses. Alcoholism has increased by 25% in the last 2.5 years. That equates to somewhere between 19 and 35,000 additional deaths. Not to mention all the other, the other
Right.
issues that it wreaks in your body. I mean, liver disease and liver cancer and high blood pressure, heart disease. That's the new pandemic, really.
Hmm. Andrew, what are some of the myths about alcoholism?
The biggest myth is that a person thinks that they can stop anytime they want. That is the biggest myth, and it's also the biggest killer. When you've been drinking for 5 or 10 years and you actually have created a habit to that magnitude, you have both a physical and a mental and emotional attachment to alcohol. And there's no way humanly possible, unless very, 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 very small amount of people have the ability to quit on their own without a rehab situation and without long-term support groups like Alcoholics Anonymous, and also having a sponsor, someone, an accountability partner who's there all the time.
Hmm. Hmm. And what does an alcoholic have to say? What must they say if they have any hope of recovery?
The one thing they have to say above anything else is that I have a problem and I need help. Until they've come to that conclusion, they're going to lie to themselves, and they're going to lie to everyone around themselves. The problem is everyone around the alcoholic also buys into the lies a lot of times, because they have hope. Everyone has hope. I mean, I had hope for 2 decades. She goes, that's the last time I'm going to do this. This will never happen again, and a week later, the person's on the floor in their own body fluids. It's not possible. You can't quit on your own. That's the biggest, that's the biggest fallacy on alcoholism. The other thing is, people think the average alcoholic is a homeless person disheveled walking down the street. They have some kind of mental issue. Most alcoholics, like my wife, a housewife or a business person, or they could be a lawyer, they could be a doctor. I even thought about the movie with Denzel Washington. Flight came out a few years ago, where he was an airplane pilot and he was an alcoholic. And that was Amanda was still alive then. I remember watching it. It was very difficult for me to watch because it was so close to home. But one thing that Denzel did in that movie, even though he realized at the end of it, he threw away his career, but he was able to save his life because he admitted in front of the court and everyone that he was an alcoholic. And his life, he realized, was more important than continuing to be an airplane pilot. That was a big I remember watching that movie going, Amanda, are we here yet?
Right. Now, so did she ever admit that she was an alcoholic?
Yeah, she did admit it.
Okay. Yeah.
She was able to admit it, and she went to 7 rehabs.
Wow.
She died in her 7th rehab. She actually fell down a flight of stairs, and she was in UCLA for about a month after that, and her body, because of the years of abuse, it just wore out.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of, especially young people who are excited about being able to drink alcohol, and then the young people who are not only are excited about drinking alcohol, but that also use it as a crutch to get through some of the things that young people would get through. They don't think about what it's going to do to your body
They
5,
think
10, 15, 20 years. Yeah.
well, those are the people I really try to reach.
Yeah.
Is the college age kids, because the average alcoholic starts their career between the ages of 15 and 20. In college, specifically because you're away from home for the first time, or college age kids, and you're around different support groups. There's a lot of peer pressure. A lot of people are still they're introverts, and it's a way for them to come out of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they're younger,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and they create a habit in your 20s, and it goes into your 30s, and then I want to get a hold of people before they become chronic, because just like cancer or heart disease, if you can catch it in the earlier stages, you have a far better chance of survival and helping these people.
And you're also saving, like in a how do you say that word, tangential way, other people, because we all know alcoholics have horrible car accidents sometimes, and they cost other people their lives. And it's so it's not just you that is being immediately affected by this disease. And I think that's another thing, Andrew, we don't really look at it as a disease. I feel in this, I mean, we acknowledge it as a disease, but I think a lot of people don't really. If you have a loved one, do they see it as a disease, or this is just something, just get over it, just stop?
That's the problem. Most people think, oh, you just get over it. It's a phase they're going through.
Yeah.
It's a mental disease, just like narcissism, being a psychopath, social behaviors, depression. It's definitely a mental health care disease, but alcoholism is also a chemical dependency. So it's and emotional dependency.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why it has to be treated. I always say, like, stage 4 cancer, you have about a 5% chance. When you're a chronic alcoholic, you have about a 5% chance of survival rate. If you've been drinking for more than a few years, you've created a habit you're going down a very, very dark black hole that you don't want to go down.
Andrew, where can we find your book and learn more about you and your story?
You can go to my website is www.amandacautionarytale.com. I'm taking pre-orders. It's coming out this fall. I have on Facebook, we have a great Facebook group. It's growing. I've talked about excerpts, and we talk about all the issues that really the conversation that we had today. It's already helped a lot of people, a lot of friends, a lot of relatives, and I've got about 3,000 people in the group. So, I get a lot of back and forth of, what I'm doing and trying to help people.
Thank you so much for sharing your story and for chatting with us today.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
And I'm going to stop recording, but I'm going to chat with you for just a moment. And to our viewers, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Bookish, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.